All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So we are going to talk about Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul. I saw that and I couldn't even believe it. Now let me tell you where I saw it. I saw it on Michael Bisping's channel. And the reason I was reviewing Michael Bisping's content is because I'm doing Believe You Me again tomorrow. So you guys can definitely watch that because I would imagine that Mike and I will discuss this particular topic on the show because this is a very notable topic. You know, Tyson versus Jake Paul. This is a very different ball game from Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul. It's going to be really interesting, actually. If they do this fight, I will tell you right now, this is going to sell. Like that is going to sell. People are going to make some serious money. How do I feel about it? That's what we're going to talk about, and why are they doing it, etc. We'll talk about all that. Now, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. We're about to hit 50K, dude. About to do it. And yeah, that's really exciting. We're going to do a drawing when we get there. So get on board. Get on board. Thank you guys for the ongoing support. So I also just did a video about Triple C. I think I'm probably going to title it The Truth About Triple C. That's a good video, man. It's a good video. It's the first video that I've done since I had the virus where I was like, oh my God, I can think again. Yeah, the reason why my videos were so short in the previous is I could tell, like, you know, usually I do much longer videos. I did like 5-minute videos because my brain was mush. Today I can think again a little bit. But anyway, so yeah. So talking about this particular fight though, right? You've got Jake Paul coming off of a very disappointing box office. I did a video about this saying that I do think that there is a high likelihood that was probably like the most stolen fight like ever. I don't know though. Like here's something that I'm recognizing. I actually just said this in the Triple C video also. I am not necessarily the right person to gauge what fights are going to sell and which ones aren't. That's actually not okay. Let me rewind. So I know a blockbuster fight when I see it, okay? Like I know a blockbuster fight when I see it, that's for sure. Sometimes I think things like other things that like maybe I'm cloudy because I love the sport so much and I love the guys so much that I'm like, oh, I think that'll do well. When in reality, like I would pay to watch any two people fight on earth, you know? But like when they announced that they were going to do Tyron Woodley 2, I thought that might do okay. You know, like I didn't realize it was going to be a complete bomb like it was. But yeah, I mean, that again, I think everyone stole it. I think streaming is, especially with Jake Paul, dude, because people like, you know, because he's a troll, people almost like the idea of like stealing the fight from him, I think, too, you know, but yeah, I mean, anyway, but here's what I can tell you is if he fights Tyson, that's a blockbuster fight right there. That is an enormous, huge blockbuster fight. That's going to sell, which is why everybody wants to do it, I would imagine. But, I mean, God, I hate this topic. I love Mike Tyson, okay? The whole reason that I am as fanatical a fight fan as I am is because when I was a child, a baby child, super young is when Mike Tyson was in his prime. And I watched all of his fights. Like I still like, I can't even really figure out how I was such a huge Tyson fan when I was so young. Because my dad's not even a fight, you know, like he's not like a big fight fan. I mean, I must have been watching them when I was with him initially. Because by the time I was a teenager, I was a fanatical Mike Tyson fan. And like when I was in high school and he was in the post-jail, phase, oh my gosh, man. I was so excited when he would fight. Like I couldn't even breathe. I was so fired up when he was going to fight. And the idea of him losing to Jake Paul is kind of horrifying. I don't know if that's realistic. Here's the thing, okay? So when I watched the lead up to the Roy Jones Jr. fight with Mike Tyson, Tyson looked fast, you know, like he looked smooth and fast where you're like, God damn. I mean, let's be real here. Obviously, Mike Tyson is on testosterone and every other goddamn thing that he can be on to be looking and moving the way that he is at his age, which is probably why it's an exhibition. But like at a certain point, dude, you're 60. You know what I mean? Like a person's like 60 years old or whatever. It's like, I mean, look at Evander Holyfield. Now, he fought a juiced Vitor Belfort, but nonetheless, it's like, I don't know. I just saw this video of Tyson. He was doing the, and it just looked slow, man. Like, it didn't look like it did before. Like, I think like just in the last couple of years, I think he's slowing down. And I don't know. I mean, listen, like, here's the other thing. I don't hate on Jake Paul. I like Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul is doing good things, right? Now, I realize that would be sacrilege because, Dana White is my absolute business inspiration. Like, the most inspiring business story I've ever seen is Dana White's story. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I can also respect other people's hustle just because they have, whatever. And Jake Paul is killing it, dude. He's a Nickelodeon kid. He's a Nickelodeon kid that just decided he wanted to be something. And here's the thing about that. You can't just decide you want to be something. You have to put the work in to be that thing, and he's done that. He just knocked out Tyron Woodley. He knocked out Tyron Woodley, who's like a couple years removed from being the undisputed welterweight champion of the world in the UFC. Okay, you can't take that away from him. You just can't take that away from him. And so it's, I'm rooting for the kid. I really am. Like, I'm rooting for Jake Paul. I would love, like, now that he's talking about doing UFC, or MMA, I would love to see him come in and just mop in MMA. I would love it. Now, I will say that if his goal is to do MMA and just bring attention to another organization and he's never going to like fight the best guys in the UFC, that's much less interesting to me. Like, I get it. He's doing the Dana White thing and it's like, oh, screw these guys. Okay, cool. I don't really care about that. Like, as a matter of fact, I don't care about that like at all. I want to see him compete. I'm interested in him competing. Now, Mike Tyson is not that interesting because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if Mike Tyson was even a fraction of any version of himself, he would decapitate Jake Paul. So we're actually paying to see a prime of their athletic time, fight one of the greatest of all time who's almost 60. I mean, if you take Mike Tyson's name off of it and just think about it that way, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? It'll sell, but it's weird. It's weird. I remember when Chael was doing that video and he was talking about why Ngannou and Fury doesn't work, which was obviously a nonsensical video. But he was saying, like, what's next? Like, so there has to be a story. Like, if this person wins, then what? If this person wins, then what? Again, in a Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou fight, that's utter nonsense. Like, we know exactly why it's important. It's the clash of the Titans, dude. But Tyson and Jake Paul, again, if you remove that it's Mike Tyson, actually, even if you include that it's Mike Tyson, it's weird, dude. It's weird. Like, Mike Tyson's like in his late 50s. It's weird. If you want to fight someone in their 50s, fight Joe Rogan in MMA. Let's see how that goes, dude. Let's see how that goes. But, yeah, I mean, you just try to think of like, I will say this, though. Mike Tyson's not getting hit with that overhand right, dude. Okay? Tyson ain't getting hit with that overhand right. That's that right there. That's a mixed martial artist got hit with an overhand right. Mike Tyson ain't getting hit with that shot, dude. That ain't happening. And if I'm wrong about that, I would be absolutely blown away. But nonetheless, I don't know. It's just weird, dude. I'd be much more interested in seeing Jake Paul fight MMA than I would see him box Mike Tyson. That's me personally. But they'll make a fuckload of money. And you know what that means? Probably going to see that fight. Anyway, I'm glad that my brain is semi-functional again. This is nice. It's nice to be able to think a little bit. But anyway, that's what I've got. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Love you guys.